Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all today, wherever you are in the world when you're watching? A huge hello, shout out to you and a wonderful thank you for all your support. Interesting, behind me, usually that curtain opening reflects a blue. Today it's reflecting a red. And when I woke up this morning, I want to talk to you about self-worth because I think that the elections, what has been happening in the last 4 years in the US and also around the world, there's an orb just shifting, floating down from that red colour, has been around self-worth. It's interesting that the colours associated with each of the parties, the blood red for the Republicans, is associated with that root chakra, which is all about trust and security in the world. And how is that measured, not just in the US, but around the world? It's measured in terms of currency. It's measured in terms of pentacles in the tarot. But really, it doesn't matter. There's that old cliche, isn't there? It doesn't matter how much money you have, that it doesn't bring happiness, and if it doesn't bring health either. If you haven't got your health, you don't have anything. So you can be the richest person in the world and still not have it all. I think we're learning lessons around real self-worth, around what it means to have that inner authenticity, what it means to have that inner approval where you're not looking for anyone else for approval. Now we had to be schooled. I guess we had to see this up close and personal in the fake billionaire Donald Trump, who is so incredibly insecure. And if you looked at his cast of thousands around him that have congregated around him for power, you'll see that they have real issues with authenticity, for starters, because authenticity comes from within, it doesn't come from without. And you'll see that there's problems there around that self-worth. I mean, Lindsey Graham is a case in point. He sways. He has to be around like a moth to the flame around power because he doesn't really feel that inner worth. Even Trump's evangelical spiritual advisor is absolutely off the planet, has surrounded herself, closeted herself in money and in greed. And in fact, some of the churches or evangelicals, and I don't suppose they're churches, are some of the wealthiest organisations that still have a tax-free status. And of course, that pentacle is being used for self-worth. It's attracting those to the congregations because they are all looking for something. So even the Trump supporters, if you look, what is their self-worth? Clinton called them deplorables, but when you look very closely at them, they don't have a lot, do they? So there's real issues around self-worth. There's a real wound, I feel, a global kind of wound, the wound of humanity, around how we measure self-worth and what makes us worthy. What makes us worthy, and I'm getting somebody touching my head now, is not how much money we have or how much external power we have. It's what comes from the inside. And you'll see Donald Trump's tremendous downfall and ruination over the next months and possibly years if he sticks around that long. And you'll see the downfall of those cast of thousands that surrounded him, and you'll see the most cowardly display of humanity where those that aided and abetted such cruelty and such corruption, where children are ripped away from parents as a strategy to deter, or as a strategy, and then caged, you'll see those people moving away. You'll see senators moving away. And in fact, it's quite likely if Trump continues with his madness, because that's what it is, madness, it's likely that the Congress, those senators, may go to him and simply say it's time to go. Now, why would they do that? From the bottom of their heartfelt hearts? No, there's going to be a runoff in Georgia in January, and there's going to be a lot of interest in that and a lot of money being poured into those campaigns. Also, while we're on self-worth, also I should say that that red, when the root chakra is healthy and balanced, and self-worth and self-authenticity comes from within, not externals, that red is the most tremendous, strong energy, divine will energy, because, it has that push forward. You're able to conquer mountains with inner authenticity. When you move up the chakras, you get to the throat chakra, which is associated with the colour blue. And of course, how do we express our authenticity? We express it through our voice, through our communications. So while we're on self-worth, I want to move to Stacey Abrams. I am going to have that wine with you. I will go live when Biden declares himself the winner. When he declares, when those states declare Biden the winner and he becomes the legitimate president-elect, I will go live here on YouTube with a glass of red wine. I'll set a notice and ask you to join me. It'll be at a civilized hour, I hope. But anyway, let's all have that glass of wine together. While we're on self-worth, Stacey Abrams had an election taken away from her through voter suppression. What did that hero do? She got to work. She got to work and she lifted up others. She registered 800,000 new voters in Georgia. And Georgia, if anyone has seen John Legend singing Georgia on Twitter, please head over there and have a look. It's absolutely beautiful. It's one of my most favourite songs as well. But Georgia, Biden is ahead now by, he's sitting on 2,455,000 approximate votes. Trump is on 2,451. So he's around 4,000 odd votes ahead in Georgia. 99% of the votes have been counted. It's looking like Georgia will go to Biden. In Nevada, the same thing. Biden is ahead on 627 odd thousand, and Trump is 606 approximately, 607 100,000. So about 20,000 votes ahead in Nevada. That looks like it probably will go to Biden. And of course, in Pennsylvania, we have 98%. I'm quoting from Associated Press figures. When they declare, it's usually historically it's the one we go by. Pennsylvania, 98% of reporting, Biden is ahead and pulling away, I might add, by about 15,000, 14 odd thousand votes. So it's pretty clear now that Biden will be the winner. It's pretty clear Trump will try and drag it out in the courts, ask for recounts, and we'll go on from there. But the more that Biden is, the clearer it is becoming that Biden is the president-elect, the less influence Trump actually has, because it's the one thing he can't control. He absolutely tried to, but he can't. The winner is the winner when the votes are counted. And that's all there is to it. At some point, he will have to concede. But my feeling is that he will hold out for some sort of deal, and he'll try and do that deal in order to escape justice. I don't think he's going to escape justice. If you haven't seen my reading with Denise Siegel, you'll see that I actually think that they're ready to arrest him when he's no longer the president, or indict him, I should say, not arrest him, indict him. So, and they would be well aware that he is going to try and run from justice. So ultimately, this is a huge downfall for Donald Trump. And my feeling is that he will lose whatever money he has left. He'll lose that as well. But there are huge lessons here for all of us about how we lift and raise up those that may be on the opposite side of the fence. Sooner or later, we've got to have that conversation. Sooner or later, we've got to work through those problems. Sooner or later, we've got to become aware of where they're feeling vulnerable, where their self-worth isn't strong, where they need, for those that are needing help. Because politics is I've often had it thrown back in my face that politics is not the same as morality. But what I'm saying is it is, because that's self-worth. That's how you become worthy of leading people. And these are the lessons, and uplifting people. These are the lessons that we need to examine. And we will over the next months. We will examine them, we'll unpack it, particularly for me on this channel spiritually. I do feel that Biden is the right person at this time to really reach across the aisle and see how things can be healed, because otherwise you'll just get a fracture that will not be mended, that will not be healed. For us, around self-worth, when you have the inner authenticity, when you do the hard work, because it is hard work, then nobody or nothing can shift or move or hurt or harm you in any way, because you're standing in your power. So it takes a combination of red, that strong base, beautiful orb, thank you, Spirit. It takes a combination of red and it takes a combination of blue to really give the voice power. So let's see where we're going to go with Biden. He is both uplifting. He stood behind Barack Obama, stood behind him solidly during 8 years of the Obama president, first black president, first African-American president of the USA. And now he's uplifting Kamala Harris as well. He's always said, I'm only going to be here for one term. So Biden is absolutely the perfect person to work across the aisle with both sides, and at the same time lift up the people that put him in power. Who was that? It was people of colour. It was people of colour that gave Biden this chance. And so they put their faith and their trust and their hope in him. So rather than looking back at the old days of Trump, there will be time to do that. And yes, the wolves are coming out for him. I think one of my cards, I said the wolves are circling. They're definitely out for him today, and they will be. We have, for those that are interested in following justice, because this is also about justice, there are a group of law students from the major law schools who have formed into a Trump, holding Trump for justice group. Young people, students are going to go through the last 4 years and highlight and publicise the incidences where Trump broke the law. There is huge amounts happening. There's a huge amount of optimism to be gained. And a huge shout out to all the light workers that over the last 4 years have come in and put their predictions on the line each week, sometimes each day, have come in and put themselves on the line. Well, you can have a glass of wine now, because your prediction that Trump would lose this election is coming true. All right, so I'm going to look at the energies today, and then I'm going to look at a few other questions. Maybe throw some cards for next year. Maybe look at those Georgia, Pennsylvania. Probably as I speak, Biden could even be speaking and being declared. But we'll get back on when he does that, and I'll bring my wine. All right. Okay. Thank you, Spirit, for all the help. I sit in gratitude. Before I start, I gave a prayer by Consuelo Newton. So about a year ago, it was I am the light. I actually want to change the I to the we. We are the light. The light is within us. The light moves through us. The light surrounds us. The light protects us. We are the light. That original prayer was by Consuelo Newton. And today I felt it totally appropriate to change the I to we. Okay. What is the energy here, please? Spirit, the energies that we need to be mindful of, that we can learn from, that we can focus on. Water. Oh, water, blessed water creation, blessed healing, blessed cleansing, blessed purification, number 29. 11. When I opened up for this reading, when I knew that I was going to talk about that red light there, when I did that, I looked at my iPhone because I shut it off when I read. It was 11:21. 11 being the gateway to spirit, the gateway to the divine, to get the gateway to the spirit within. And 21 being next year. It has been a hard, difficult year for everyone. And there is healing. There is this healing emotional, because it is emotional healing that is coming through. Inner core. Inner core. Breathe today, this evening, tonight, in your dreams. Breathe. The inner core. Solidify. Something is changing. I always, birds are my totem, or they're my symbol for connection with spirit. I usually have been seeing the eagle over the last few days. Today I saw the dove. And so while I'm reminded that there's this divide and violence is entirely, we've already seen it. At the end of the day, when our core is solid, when the fractures are addressed and mended, when we have that self-worth, we have this solid inner core. Self-worth. We try and blame or punish others when our self-worth needs to be strengthened. And those that we punish usually have the lesson to, if they're allowing themselves to be punished, it is around their own self-worth as well. So we're all learning these lessons. But today we fought, we've gained, and there's wisdom there, and there's time to take a breath. Marine life, richness. I'm reminded of the beauty of the world, of Gaia. I don't take that for granted. One of the most beautiful things that Biden will do is sign back up on the first day of his presidency, sign back up to the Paris Accord. And I'm so proud of that. Maybe my own government will learn a lesson here. It has been a deep dive. The base of the pack energy is an absolutely deep, deep dive. We had to go to the bottom in order to heal. And there's been fury, absolute fury. I'm reminded also of loyalty. This is a time here, animals, loyalty. It's an archetype symbol, not only of the earth being loyal to the protection of the environment, the beautiful, abundant environment we live in, but I'm reminded of loyalty to others. And so there are things to remember around our values. and how we treat others. Loyalty. And inner protection. And finally, light. Light, the sun, and darkness, the moon. We have Jupiter moving out of Capricorn into Aquarius in December. And so that light's going to get a whole lot stronger. All right. That is the thoughts that I had upon waking up on self-worth. Let's go to the beautiful Georgia. Beautiful Georgia, beautiful civil rights icons movement. Those that are up, that are looking down, that are helping us. Self-worth. Those that know what it takes to stand up and put themselves on the line. The people of colour. We have a lot to learn about racism and self-worth and values and our own security and trust in this world. Georgia. Will Biden take Georgia? Beautiful Georgia. Will Biden take Georgia? What do we need to learn from Georgia? Okay, here's this Wheel of Fortune. Nostradamus cards again, the 10 of Cups. The voters have spoken. The voters, the unconditional love, this was the fortress, the hope, the love, even though African Americans or people of colour face racism every day, they voted for a white president that they have put their faith and their trust in. The voter, the 10, the unconditional love, yes. We have the 4 of Cups. There's always one cup on offer wherever else. And, you know, I chose Nostradamus's cards here today for a reason, because he has a way of somehow getting underneath the surface of things. This is crossing. I'll pull the laptop down. The 4 of Cups is crossing the 10 of Cups. So what this is showing me is that when there was disappointment, Georgia will get Biden over the line, you know, as will probably Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, places like that. The African American people of colour voting him through. When there was disappointment, there's one cup left in the 4 of Cups. And it gives this person the keys to the power here. The foundation of the reading is the 4 of Wands. The 4 of Wands is my card for the Democrats. Has been for however many years I've been reading. This talks about a healing. And it's couched in helping the sick. There is that passage, send me your sick, send me your, whatever that is, I'll find it. This is about helping others. This is about coming together as a community. This is about reunification, and it is that light energy, it is that fire energy, the 4 of Wands with those 4 blue stars. It's almost like he's prophesying, isn't it? The 4 blue stars in the sky. What is in the past here is the 8 of Pentacles. So a lot of hard work, and I think I said this before the election, that there has been a lot of hard work already done. And I did couch this in terms of the Senate. So that Senate runoff, here we are. Here we are again predicting the future. But it's there's a good chance that the work that Stacey Abrams and others have done will get the Senate over the line. Let's just see. That's for a reading for another day. But this is the hard work that's been done. And this is also around self-worth, people's skills, people's individual talents, what they bring to the table. This is a reading on Georgia, the most heavily gerrymandered state, one of, if not the, voter suppression, a governor that illegally took people off rolls. Nothing was done. The hard work going from nothing to something. Imagine a victory robbed from her. Not just her. Everybody that participated in her campaign. Everybody that voted for her. The three of swords here is talking about the heartbreak and the loss. The heartbreak and the loss, and I think this is a collective wound here. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The Biden-Harris government will have to work very hard to heal and mend those fractures. The Knight of Wands, brandishing that sword of truth. We've got a momentum and campaign. Bless the Lincoln Project, and now running ads to get those Democratic Senate candidates for the Senate in Georgia elected in the runoffs. Seven of Cups in the here and now. It talks about the illusion and delusion that is still there on the ground, I feel. Around the election itself, there's a lot to be worked through. Yes, it's time for a celebration, but there's a lot to be worked through. The 10 of Swords in the environment around. This is where we've got to look at what has driven the march toward utter illusion and delusion. Why choices weren't good for the people who were making them. Why they followed that piper down the hole. Really, the environment around is endings, complete and utter downfall. For those that promulgated and spun and took advantage of other people's vulnerabilities. The 4 of Swords is recovery, healing, retreat, battle worn. That's, I feel, the defeat. That's in the hopes and fears position. The hope is to defeat those that sought to take other people's freedoms and rights away. This is what Stacey Abrams got in the outcome position. And that's the Star of Hope. That's the Star of Hope. That's where we are now. But there's a lot more to it than just getting Biden in the White House. It's around at a deeper level the healing, because the Star of Hope is a healing card. The Star is a healing card. It's a the opportunity is there for metamorphosis. We have the strength and endurance, clarifying the Star. This is what I love about hard-won victories. We get to see this, we get to feel this, and we get to experience this, and this is what we're feeling in Georgia. We have the Empress energy at the base of the pack. And we have the vanquishing of the devil card. So again, you know, what have we got to learn? I'll be having my glass of wine, for sure. All right, let's take, because we've got the Nostradamus' cards, let's just take a quick look at Trump today. Absolutely despicable behaviour, desperate behaviour. Show me Trump today. What's going to happen to Trump today? Because there is such a thing as righteousness. You know, if the lesson's not learnt, there is righteousness. There is karma, cause and effect. All right, so we have, you know, as you sow, so shall you reap. We have moderation and temperance. I feel that he is being encouraged. Of course, that's another healing card. It's being encouraged to not to do this. But I think it might be falling on desperate ears. Okay, show me Trump today. Show me Trump today. Yeah, he's definitely being dampened. What I'm seeing is him being dampened down. And I'm seeing the Judgment card for him as well. So we have the Ten of Pentacles. This is his own business. This is his own money-making machine. He's very worried about money, about getting in more money, milking the system, having enough money to fight those court battles. But he's thinking of leaving. This is the Six of Swords, moving on. He kind of knows that it's over, and he's looking at his options. I mean, he says he's the great deal maker. The Page of Wands. Yeah, he's getting ready to go. Okay, the Page of Wands. This is somebody that moves forward. There's an ending of a cycle here and a moving on. And we have the Ace of Cups. You know, highly emotional, but he's looking for that new start. So his thoughts are more around what comes after the presidency here. Once he realises that it's no longer over. He's now making plans for the future. The Magician at the end, at the base of the pack, the Magician energy, trying to manifest something. But I see the Hermit card, which of course was what I got for him when I first started reading on him. This is isolation, exile, being alone. And we have the Eight of Swords. This is imprisonment, embattled. And we have the Page of Cups here. So there's going to be a surprise coming from him. I feel that his power is waning. I feel the surprise will most likely could be that he's getting ready in some way to go. I do feel he'll try and do that deal before he goes. So the good news is that there is an extra Secret Service detail on Biden. There is also the airspace has been cleared above Wilmington, Delaware. Is that where he is? As would happen with a president-elect. And I think it won't be too much longer before this is what we'll be calling Joe Biden. So I hope you've enjoyed that reading today. I will stay on this. I will come back and have that glass of wine with you as soon as we know something for sure, and the states are going to ratify their ballot counting and make those announcements. Then I'll be back. But I hope you've enjoyed the reading today, and thank you so much for tuning in.